The movie also features Michael Sarrazin and Anatoly Kulbitsky among the supporting cast, helping create an international feeling appropriate for a global espionage story. The supporting characters contribute to the atmosphere by making the world of the film feel unpredictable and dangerous. In many scenes, viewers are left unsure about who can be trusted, which is exactly what a spy thriller should accomplish. One of the most enjoyable aspects of Midnight in St. Petersburg is its old-fashioned approach to suspense. Modern spy films often rely on huge visual spectacles, but this movie focuses more on conversations, investigations, hidden motives, and psychological tension. The screenplay gives importance to dialogue and strategy. Characters spend time analyzing situations instead of simply charging into danger. This style may feel refreshing to viewers tired of non-stop noise and excessive CGI-heavy filmmaking. Douglas Jackson's direction deserves appreciation because he maintains a consistent mood throughout the film. The pacing is steady, and the atmosphere remains tense from beginning to end. Jackson understands that the power of a spy thriller often comes from uncertainty rather than constant action. He uses the locations effectively, allowing the city itself to become part of the storytelling. The dark streets, isolated rooms, and cold landscapes all add to the feeling that danger could appear at any moment. Visually, the film reflects the style of mid-1990s television thrillers and direct-to-video cinema, but that actually works in its favor. The cinematography gives the movie a grounded and realistic appearance. Instead of polished glamour, the film embraces a rough and shadowy aesthetic. This makes the espionage world feel more believable. The use of practical locations rather than artificial-looking sets also helps the movie maintain authenticity. Overall, Midnight in St. Petersburg is an underrated 1996 spy thriller that benefits greatly from Michael Caine's commanding performance, Douglas Jackson's atmospheric direction, and its intriguing Russian setting. The film combines mystery, political tension, and old-school espionage elements into an entertaining experience for fans of classic thrillers. Its grounded style, suspenseful storytelling, and strong performances help it stand out among many lesser-known films of the decade. While it may not be remembered as a major blockbuster, it remains an enjoyable watch for audiences who appreciate intelligent spy cinema with a darker and more realistic tone. This movie is available on YouTube free. Released in 1996, the action thriller Midnight in St. Petersburg is one of those films that quietly built a fan base among viewers who enjoy classic espionage stories, old-school action cinema, and the unmistakable screen presence of legendary actors from the late 20th century. Directed by Douglas Jackson, the movie serves as a follow-up to Bullet to Beijing and once again brings back the iconic detective Harry Palmer, a character originally made famous decades earlier. What makes this film especially interesting is the atmosphere it creates. Instead of relying only on non-stop explosions or flashy modern effects, the movie leans heavily into mystery, tension, international politics, and the charm of its leading cast. For viewers who enjoy spy dramas with a Cold War flavor and a darker tone, this movie offers a surprisingly engaging experience. The film stars the legendary Michael Caine in the lead role, and his performance is one of the strongest reasons to watch the movie. Even in the mid-1990s, Michael Caine had already established himself as one of the most respected actors in cinema history. Known for classics like The Italian Job, Get Carter, and the Dark Knight series later in his career, Caine always had a unique ability to make even simple dialogue feel intelligent and meaningful. In Midnight in St. Petersburg, he brings calm confidence and sophistication to the role of Harry Palmer. Unlike many over-the-top action heroes, Palmer is intelligent, experienced, and quietly dangerous. Michael Caine does not try to dominate scenes through loud performances. Instead, he uses subtle expressions, dry humor, and controlled emotions, which makes the character feel believable and mature. One thing that stands out about the movie is its confidence in simplicity. It does not try to impress viewers with endless twists or overwhelming action. Instead, it focuses on strong performances, believable tension, and atmospheric storytelling. That confidence allows the movie to age better than some louder action films from the same era. The dialogue throughout the film is another strong point. Conversations feel natural and often carry subtle humor, especially through Michael Caine's delivery. Harry Palmer's calm personality allows him to remain composed even during dangerous situations, and Caine's dry wit gives the character charm without reducing the seriousness of the story. For fans of Michael Caine specifically, this film is worth watching simply to see another variation of the intelligent and understated characters he played so well throughout his career. Even when the material around him is modest, Caine always brings professionalism and charisma. He elevates scenes through timing, facial expressions, and vocal delivery. His presence gives the film credibility and sophistication. The movie may not appeal equally to every audience. Viewers looking for extremely fast-paced action or modern blockbuster spectacle may find it slower than expected. However, audiences who appreciate traditional spy films, mystery-driven storytelling, and mature performances will likely find plenty to enjoy. It belongs to a style of thriller that values atmosphere and intelligence over noise and chaos. While Midnight in St. Petersburg may not have received the same level of mainstream attention as major Hollywood spy franchises, it still has value for audiences who appreciate intelligent thrillers. Sometimes smaller-scale films are able to focus more carefully on character and atmosphere, and that is definitely true here. The movie feels personal and focused rather than overly commercial. It knows exactly what kind of story it wants to tell and stays committed to that identity. Another reason the film remains interesting today is its historical atmosphere. Watching a movie set during the uncertain years after the collapse of the Soviet Union gives it a unique feeling compared to many modern thrillers. The tension between political instability and organized crime creates a fascinating backdrop. The movie captures that transition period effectively, showing a world where old systems were disappearing and new dangers were emerging. For viewers who enjoy detective-style storytelling mixed with espionage, the film offers enough mystery to remain engaging throughout. The investigation gradually uncovers layers of deception, and the narrative keeps introducing complications that prevent the story from becoming predictable. Even when the pacing slows down, the atmosphere and performances continue to hold attention. Jason Connery also deserves credit for complementing Michael Caine instead of trying to compete with him. Supporting a legendary actor can be difficult, but Connery manages to maintain his own screen presence. His performance adds youthful determination to the story while still respecting the film's serious tone. The action scenes are not excessive, but when they appear, they are handled effectively. Gunfights and confrontations feel more realistic than exaggerated. The movie avoids turning its main character into an unstoppable superhero, which adds tension because viewers genuinely feel that the characters are vulnerable. The danger feels real, and that realism helps the suspense remain effective. Michael Caine's performance deserves another mention because it carries much of the emotional and intellectual weight of the film. By the time this movie was released, Caine had decades of experience playing complex characters, and that experience shows clearly here. His version of Harry Palmer is tired but sharp, experienced but still curious. He understands the dangerous world around him and moves through it with intelligence rather than arrogance. This mature approach separates the film from many generic action thrillers of the era. Fans of classic espionage stories may also appreciate how the film respects its audience. It does not constantly explain every detail or simplify every situation. Some scenes require attention and patience, which gives the story more depth. The political themes and criminal elements are woven into the narrative without becoming overly complicated. As a result, the movie remains accessible while still offering enough intrigue to keep viewers interested. The soundtrack also helps establish the mood. Rather than using loud or distracting music, the score supports the suspense quietly in the background. During tense scenes, the music enhances the uncertainty without overwhelming the dialogue or performances. This restraint fits the overall tone of the film perfectly. The story takes place in post-Soviet Russia, and the setting itself becomes one of the movie's biggest strengths. The streets of St. Petersburg are shown with a cold and mysterious atmosphere that perfectly matches the film's tone. From dimly lit buildings to dangerous underground dealings, the city creates a sense of tension throughout the movie. The film captures the uncertainty of the era, where political systems were changing and criminal organizations were becoming more powerful. This backdrop gives the movie a gritty realism that many spy thrillers from the period attempted to achieve. Without giving away spoilers, the story follows Harry Palmer as he becomes involved in a dangerous mission connected to missing radioactive material and criminal organizations operating in Russia. As he investigates the situation, he encounters double crosses, hidden agendas, and people whose loyalties are difficult to understand. The plot moves carefully rather than rushing from one action scene to another, allowing viewers to absorb the mystery and the suspense. This slower pacing may not appeal to audiences expecting modern fast-cut action films, but for fans of classic spy storytelling, it becomes one of the movie's greatest qualities. Another important cast member is Jason Connery, who plays a key role in the story. Being the son of legendary actor Sean Connery naturally brought attention to his career, but Jason Connery delivers a respectable performance here. He adds energy and seriousness to the film, especially during scenes involving investigation and confrontation. His chemistry with Michael Caine works well because both actors approach their roles differently. Caine remains calm and calculating, while Connery brings more urgency and emotion. This contrast helps keep the interactions interesting,